Hello, this is Carrion back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be using Modo 3D to model a drain pipe. To start out, you're going to find the Create tab. From there, you're going to find the Draw option, and then you'll find Curve under that. The Curve tool behaves similar to the Pen tool in Illustrator or something similar like that. The only trick here is it's in 3D space, so it's a little bit more trickier than a 2D space. If you hold control and the space bar at the same time, you have access to all the different views like right view, left view, top, back, or perspective view. At this point, all you got to do is drag the curve out and straighten it out to your liking. Now there are other curve options within this program that could make it a little easier to do this part. But right now I'm just working with the base curve tool. Other ways to use the curve tool is you can copy the curve and you can actually make complex shapes out of it if you're really good at patching, which is actually something I'm not too familiar with, but maybe I'll have to do a little tutorial on it for myself. This aspect of Modo I find kind of odd. If you want to render the curve, you have to go over to the Properties tag and click Render Curves and render as polygon. So this is the first step of getting the curve to show up in the viewport. The viewport is where all your objects are located. After that step, you're going to go up to the Geometry tab and you're going to click on Bake Geometry Catch. Before you do that first step, I forgot to mention this, is you want to get the properties of the object correct. It could be too fat or too skinny or too many polygons or too less of polygons. And if you want to see a preview of the object before you hit Bake Geometry Catch, you can go up to the Render tab at the top and see how it's going to look. Now the object looks pretty good, but there's way too many polygons and there's a lot of tries in this object. So I'm going to have to find a way to remove all these trigons or tries. If you look at the two ends of the object, you'll see the topology is not very good. So what I'm going to do is delete these surfaces here. To do that, make sure you're in polygon mode, otherwise you'll be selecting edges and vertices. So if you look at the surface, it has this kind of spiral look to it, and it's added a lot of tries to the object. To remove that, just click all of the slanted edges and just you're going to hit remove on the edge tab. Make sure you don't push delete. You actually have to go into the edge tab and push remove, because if you push delete, it's going to remove the faces from the object. Before you subdivide the object, make sure you hit mesh cleanup. That'll clean up any irregularities within the model, and it'll just clean the whole model up for you. Now, mesh cleanup is a little tricky. Make sure you have the right options pushed. In certain situations, it could actually ruin the model. I've had that happen. So just but in this certain situation, it's okay to have all the buttons clicked. At this point, you're going to select the edge, and if you double click, it'll loop around the entire edge. Then you're going to hit Z, and that'll initiate extend the edge. And then there, you just click on your Gizmo and pull it out. Gizmo is the red, green, blue arrows. This is what you use to move and manipulate objects in 3D space. That's X, Y, Z. Kind of like the graphs you had in high school, but in 3D space. If you want to add loops to your object, go to the Edge tab and find Add Loop. This will kind of add anchors to a lot of the edges. So whenever you smooth it, it'll have a stronger silhouette. It really depends on on your personal project or what the project needs. If you need more polygons, you might not, or you might need to smooth it out. But it obviously add more polygons to the object. But if you want a low poly object, you could certainly smooth it out as much as possible without subdividing. So make sure you measure out the part where you want the fitted piece at. Um, from there, you're going to use the Bevel tool, and that'll be under polygons. If you click the arrow part, that's the blue, with the blue arrow, it'll extrude out, and it works pretty good. You don't have to be in a certain angle or anything for it to work, and it'll just extrude independently out. So this is your basic pipe. It's pretty much done. From here, you could add edge loops to add a better silhouette after you smooth. Now, there are certainly easier ways to perform this task or model this pipe within Modo, but I just wanted to show how to do it with the curves. And there's certainly probably easier ways to do it, and just the curve option. Modo definitely has a little plugins that'll make certain modeling tasks easier. Modo is not my favorite 3D modeling package. I personally like 3ds Max a little bit more. I haven't had so much experience with Maya, but definitely ZBrush is where everything's happening. Hopefully this tutorial wasn't too difficult to follow. I kind of realized the whole program it's very gray looking, so maybe the cursor is a little bit difficult to follow. I typically use 3D modeling more as a complementary to my art. I have been making more of an effort to use it for more larger projects. Right now, I'm working on the eGuire 2 3D model, and that I actually plan to animate and add effects, so it'll give it more of a complete project. I certainly hoped you enjoyed this video. It wasn't too difficult to make, but it's certainly fun. I really do enjoy 3D modeling. It's more technical, and it brings a different kind of creativity. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Check out some of the links below. I have actually a personal website. So thank you for watching if you got this far.